Hello, hello. This is Sheri from the Sheri Kaye Hoff Show, where we focus on living joyfully in your life and business. You can reach us at sherikhoff.com. That's SherikAyehoff.com.
So today we have a fantastic topic. So we're going to talk about 3 keys to living your vision with more joy and less stress. And this is Sheri here, and we are just going to jump right in. So welcome. And for everyone, I want to say a big welcome to all of the podcast listeners, to everyone who's listening on Instant Teleseminar, and to everyone who is listening live. I just really thank you for your time, and we're going to figure out what it is to live your vision and how to do it now as opposed to someday. So if you're watching via Instant Teleseminar, you can type questions into the Q&A box. If you're listening on the podcast or any other way, you can send me an email to Sheri, Sheri, at sherikhoff.com. That's SherikAyehoff.com. Or you can just go to the website and go to the contact page and send me some questions there. So I love questions. All right. So I just want to start with talking a little bit about personal leadership. And my own personal philosophy is that if everyone practiced excellent personal leadership skills, that we would have a lot less problems in the world. You know, if we came at life with the idea of ownership and responsibility. So what are some elements of great personal leadership? So the first one is authenticity in the workplace or your business and at home. So being authentic, leading from a place of personal strength. So you're leading through the strengths that you have built and from a place of confidence. You're setting a powerful example. You personally do what you're asking other people to do. You keep promises that you make to yourself and to other people. But a lot of times we'll keep those promises we make to other people, but not the promises we make to ourselves. And that erodes confidence and self-esteem and self-belief. And then lastly, and this isn't an exhaustive list, but this is, some really good ones, create a clear mindset and vision for yourself, your team, and your family. So a lot of times we don't think about creating a vision for our family. All right. So we have 3 keys, and the first key is to be bold. And I created this BOLD acronym. I don't mean be bold, like go out, be bold. Bold actually stands for something, but you can go out and be bold if you want to. So what does be bold mean? It means be an achiever. That's the B. O is own your goals. L is live each day with more peace, passion, energy, and joy. And the final one, D, is do and be what you were meant to do and be. So what are all of those be bold parts of key 1? Let's take a look. So be an achiever. So what is an achiever? To me, it's someone who achieves the goals that they want to achieve. You write down your goals and you do it, or you have the confidence that when you write down your goals, you're going to give it your best shot and achieve most of the things. So if you say that you're going to run a 5K, eventually you run a 5K, whether it takes you a month to do it or 10 years to do it. But you're someone who achieves the goals that they want to achieve. So just reflect for a second and take a look at some of your examples from the past. So all of you who are listening have had achievements in your life. So you can look back on your past and ask yourself, what's your track record? And it's likely that you have a great track record in some areas, and then maybe other areas you could improve a little bit. And again, what if you feel like you've really come out on the short end of the deal, like you haven't done very much, you're not defined by your past. But when you look back and you reflect over the past and you see some things that you could improve or you could change, the point is not to judge yourself for what's gone on in the past, but just to realize, okay, today is a brand new day and you're creating your future right now. And so how do you want to change? How do you want to shift so that you can become the achiever that you really want to be? So to achieve, people who are achievers have certain powerful habits. And these are, again, probably not every habit that we could list on here, but some really powerful ones. So being an avid reader, fostering continuous learning, creating vision and goals, practicing a growth mindset, planning and keeping weekly and daily target lists, keeping promises. There's that word promises again, creating relationships, staying positive, taking action, seizing opportunities, and putting one foot in front of the other, or we could call that grit, being a gritty person. So these are some parts of having an achiever mindset. So being diligent about maintaining high energy, conquering limiting beliefs that you have, using positive affirmations or self-talk, engaging in powerful visualization, letting go of extreme attachment to results, being open to receiving help, managing emotions successfully, and having that belief that it's okay to fail forward and then learn from your mistakes. The next one, own your goals, is about the fact that your goals should be yours. You want to create ownership for your goals. Set goals that are unique to you. Use your creative force. Practice thinking big, and address the fear factor. So I want to go over this a little bit more in depth. So when you think about your big goals, how many of those goals are goals that you set for yourself, or goals that kind of fell onto you based on maybe your family? Like maybe you're from a whole family of lawyers or a whole family of doctors, and maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe you never even question it because it's what your family members did. So, and this can be true for hobbies, it can be true for places that you live, the kind of job that you do, the kind of business that you start, making sure that your goals are your own. Because when you are pursuing a goal that is someone else's voice in your head, first of all, you have a lot more resistance, okay? Because part of that resistance is due to that relationship dynamic. But also you don't have the buy-in when you feel like they're goals that are thrust upon you. So if you have a team or your family and you're creating goals, you want those goals to be powerful to each person, because if there isn't that buy-in there isn't going to be the follow-through to make it happen. So in your goals, you want to have them be goals that are using your creativity. We crave to be creative beings. There are people who say our main purpose in life is to create. And so if that's such a powerful part of who we crave to be, and we're not using our creativity, you might be feeling kind of down, kind of depressed, or kind of void or numb because you're not using your full creativity. So a good question, a good journaling question is, how can I use my creativity when it comes to the goals that I want to achieve? And practice thinking big. There's an entire body of research, very large body, that says that people who set lofty goals, big goals, achieve more than people who set quote unquote realistic goals. Now, there's a time and a place for a realistic goal. Like when you're looking at planning your day, you don't want to cram 40 hours worth of stuff into a 9-hour workday or an 8-hour workday or a 4-hour workday. So when we get caught up in that word realistic, and then we think about SMART goals, and SMART goals are supposed to be realistic, and there's a place for that. But when it comes to achieving lofty goals, achieving big goals, and wanting to have the most out of your life and experience the most out of your life, you've got to kind of set that word realistic aside, because you will set your goals too low. And people who set low goals and achieve them achieve way less than people who set huge goals, and maybe they don't get to that huge goal, but they do way more and have a much bigger life. So if you're a person who panics the second you set a big goal, just tell yourself, well, successful people set big goals, and it's okay for every little step that I take towards that big goal is a good thing. Because sometimes you set a goal and you think, you panic that you're not going to be able to do it. Well, you're not going to achieve every single goal. Most people don't. Either the goal changes, or maybe they realize that they don't want to keep pushing for that one certain goal and they look for something else. Okay. I mean, there's athletes who, they might aspire to something and then they have an injury, and through the rehabilitation process realize that they now have different goals. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But practice thinking big, and then addressing the fear factor. So it's important to recognize that anytime you set a big goal, anytime you set any kind of a goal, your body's natural response is fear, and you can condition yourself to have less fear, but it's good to practice an if-then statement. So if you think about this ahead of time and you say, okay, I'm going to set a big goal, and as soon as I set that goal, I'm likely to have some fear come up. So you could say, if I feel fear, then I will, and decide ahead of time. Call a friend, call your coach, call your mentor, write in your journal, read something inspiring, have, a plan for that ahead of time. How will you address the fear? If you think about it ahead of time, you won't let that fear paralyze you. All right, so the L in the bold is live each day with more peace, passion, energy, and joy. So this happens, remember, we're still on key 1 for living your vision. So, it's hard to create a vision if you don't know what happiness, peace, and passion mean to you. So you get to define what happiness is for you. You might want to write it down. What does happiness mean to me? What is happiness in my life? How will I know when I'm feeling happy or being happy? I look at happiness as a lifestyle and a state of being that we can choose. What is peace in my life? What is it not? Having peace in your life, that doesn't mean you never have conflict. Okay, but you're able to kind of be that stable being in the middle of the conflict. And what makes you passionate? And how do you know? Like, I get the question sometimes, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, try things. Okay, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing usually in a vacuum. Get out there and try things, do things. If you aren't sure about your next direction for your business, yes, put some thought into it, but actually get out there and try something, test something. Test it out, see what it feels like. And then feeling your energy. So noticing the energy that you have in your life. So for a lot of people, at least 15% to 20% of the population is highly sensitive, meaning that you're sensitive to the energy around you and sensitive to other people. And even in that sensitivity, there's a great range. Some people being way off the charts highly sensitive, and some people being a little bit highly sensitive. But it's important to think about and recognize what is your energy and what isn't. So are you absorbing the energy of a toxic relationship, or are you absorbing the energy of a toxic environment, or even stress? I mean, a lot of stress during the pandemic, you could think, I don't even know why I'm stressed, but you're feeling like the overall kind of pressing down of people going through a lot at one time. So first, notice your energy, and then create the intention that you're just going to let go of any energy that isn't yours. And there are lots of energy exercises that you can do to process through, to clear energy that's bothering you that is yours, and also clearing energy that isn't yours. And one of my favorite energy exercise people is Donna Eden. That's Eden. You can look up her 5-minute energy routine and practice that. There's also meditations and chakra clearing and prayer, and you can even clear your energy through exercise, through being outside. But you want to take care of that, because you can end up holding in a lot of stress, which is wearing you out. So you want to live each day with more peace, passion, energy, and joy. I love this quote by John Maxwell. A great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion, not position. So your passion helps drive your courage. All right, the last one in the BOLD acronym, D, do and be what you're meant to do and be. So this is about purpose, vision, and your path. And this is something to think about when you look at living your vision, because your vision is really about fulfilling a purpose. But when you're in this place of doing and being what you're meant to do and be, life feels synergistic and challenging, but not hard. You're fulfilling what you feel is your legacy. And also, I want to say that some people have like a very marked one purpose life, or maybe, a little umbrella over like one or two or three things where they feel very purpose driven. And then there are other people that are multi-passionate and have multi-purposes, and there's nothing wrong with being that way. There's a great book out there by Barbara Sher, Sher, and it's called Refuse to Choose. So if you're a person who is walking around going, what should I do? I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my passion is. And you've tried all kinds of things. You're the kid who played many different instruments. You maybe took all kinds of different dance classes, all kinds of different sports. You loved every topic that you had in college. When you had archaeology, you wanted to be an archaeologist. When you had theater, you wanted to be an actor. You're excited and passionate about a lot of things, and there's a way to channel that energy and be fulfilled and live a purpose-filled life, even being a multi-passionate person. So use your strength and don't waste your life. Everybody, please don't waste your life in that discovering my purpose mode, because I love when Neil Donald Walsh says, your purpose is what you say it is. So maybe you feel like you've landed on something and said, this is my purpose. And then a year later or a month later or 3 years later, you go, oh, this wasn't exactly my purpose, but it's pointing me to a different direction. So for example, there was a time in my life when I felt teaching at a college was my purpose. And then I did that and I loved it. I loved my students. I loved my faculty. But I had this realization that it wasn't the complete fulfilling of what I really wanted, but I didn't know what I really wanted. So it was a terrifying moment for me. And then I did a lot of journaling, a lot of soul searching, and I just woke up one day and the message was start your own company. And I did, and that was 14 years ago. And I've been doing, of course, my business has been through many different changes and shifts, but I've been running this business since 2007. So and I've been sticking with it. It's fulfilling. I wake up and I'm excited about what I do every day. But I had a path to get there. I just didn't know when I was 16 or 18 or 22 or 30 exactly what would be the most fulfilling, but I didn't just sit around doing nothing. I tried, many different things and had a lot of different experiences and, kind of honed what felt purposeful and inspiring for me. Just let that sink in there for a second. Here's a quote from Earl Nightingale. The more intensely we feel about an idea or goal, the more assuredly the idea buried deep in our subconscious will direct us along the path to its fulfillment. So you might get an idea and go, but I have no idea how to do it. That's what all goals are. Like if you knew how to do it, and you would have done it already, right? It's figuring out, how do I make this happen, especially for big goals. So the fact that you've never done it before is the way it's supposed to be. And you've got to have that trust that you'll figure out each step along the way. All right, so just a reminder, the bold principles for great personal leadership and living your personal best life. Be a great achiever, own your goals, live each day with more peace, passion, energy, and joy, and do and be what you are meant to do and be. Okay, so that is key 1, the bold principles. Okay, so key 2 of living your vision is actually creating a compelling vision. And so when you create, these are some elements of creating a compelling vision. You want to look at your values, your pillars in your life. A 3-year vision is kind of the sweet spot because it's not so far out that it seems unimaginable, and it's close enough to, it's far out enough where you're actually going to achieve something amazing, but it's close enough where you can actually feel it. We can feel 3 years out. And when you create your compelling vision, you want to write in a narrative form, like you're writing a story. And look at your vision as it being a living document, meaning that your vision may change as you change. What you write down that you want to do 3 years from now, you might have some shifts in perspective. Well, I shouldn't say might. You will have some. So you want to revisit your vision frequently so that it stays up with who you are. So let's look at values. So values are the things that are important to you, and there are tons of values inventories out there that you can take. Just type in finding my values or value inventory in Google, and you'll get usually pages of lists of values. And usually it's some form of, circling things that feel like they're you and are important to you, and then going back and prioritizing those values, okay? Because you want your vision to be totally lined up with your values. And now your pillars are the important areas of your life. And you might have 4 pillars, you might have 8 pillars, you might have 16 pillars. But your pillars are, like, you could have, 1 pillar might be your family. One might be your business. One might be, your personal life. And you could even have different pillars in your personal life. Like you might have one that is fitness, one that is health, one that is continuous learning, or you could have continuous learning as a completely separate pillar. You could have extended family as a pillar. You could have travel as a pillar, or you could build that under your personal life. So, but your pillars are the things that they're, uncompromisingly important areas of your life. And in terms of creating a vision, it's a little simpler if you have like 4 to 8 pillars compared to, 16. But you can have 16. Okay, so when you're creating your compelling vision, thinking about the things that are important to you, your values, and thinking about the big important areas of your life. So then if something doesn't fit in with your values and it's not part, it wouldn't come underneath one of your pillars, then you can question, do I even want to do this? Is this even important to me? Probably isn't. And the other thing that happens when you do this is you start to realize like some of your goals that you had in the past don't line up with the values that you have. Like maybe okay, I'm a fan of making a ton of money. I think everybody can make a ton of money. Money is out there for everyone. If you want money, you can have money. So I'm not saying don't have money be a goal. But I've noticed in my own business that I've had evolutions of, coming from you have to work really hard to make money. That's most of us had that ethic growing up, especially I'm in my 50s, I'm 53. So, that you have to work really hard for your money. And then shifting to, more of a law of attraction perspective of money is out there and available. And yes, you put effort into it, but you don't have to slave like 90-hour work weeks to, make money. To then another evolution for me is to realize that I wanted and want to measure the success of my business by the amount of ease and joy that I feel each day in my business and the amount of transformation that I feel. Like every day I write down under my goal, one of the things I write down is transform lives. And that could be a conversation with someone. That could be a smile. That could be, a client getting a new client. It could be, someone starting a new business, but it's, creating that ripple effect. And so that to me is the most important, and everything else comes under that. So when I'm planning my day, my week, my month, my 3 years, I always ask, how will people's lives be transformed by this? And I also look, I could say inspired, okay, inspiring millions. When, 14 years ago, when I thought about what do I want to do in my business, it was inspiring millions. And still the word inspire, it's usually on my vision board somewhere because it's a reminder for me, my big why. If I get tired or I question anything, I always come back to that. So when you're creating your compelling vision, a cool idea is to actually design it. So you want to make your vision beautiful. You could use creative design using something like Canva, or you could have someone design it for you and format it for you where it actually looks like a beautiful publication. And you can have a vision for your business because maybe you don't want your employees or your team to know what your personal life vision is. So you could have a vision for your business, a vision for your personal life, and a vision for your family. So you could actually have 3 big different components of your vision. So, and the third key is creating action steps to bring your vision to reality. So this is about taking the 3-year vision that you create, and you might be saying, wait a minute, I still, how do I create that 3-year vision? Well, it's, sometimes people take a weekend and go into the mountains, or they'll take, a month or 3 months to create it. Some people create it in 2 hours. It really depends on who you are, as an individual. I do have a class called Living Your Vision where it's can't remember if it's 4 or 5 modules, that walks you through the actual steps of defining values, of mapping it out and, what should go in it. And if you're interested in that, you can go to my website, sherikhoff.com, and you'll see that course on the website. You also can go to the link if you're watching via Instant Teleseminar. You can click on the Living Your Vision link. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, also, you can save $50 off the course by typing in the coupon code BOOKMORE50. So if you feel like you want more support creating your living your vision, creating your vision for the next 3 years or 5 years or however long you want to do it, a lot of people have gone through that course and really felt it to be really valuable. All right, so the third key, creating the action steps. So this is where you take your vision and you reverse engineer it into your 12-month plans, your 90-day plans, your weekly targets, daily targets, and the habits that will get you there. So you can do the, year 3, year 2, year 1 in 12-month plans. But even if you do just your first year 12-month plan, you'll be well on your way to actually living your vision. And then once you have that 12-month plan, that's kind of a framework for the year. But I'm a big fan of 90-day planning. So I really like a journal by, it's called the Self Journal, and it's, broken into a 90-day format. And it has some really great journal prompts and space to write and space to get creative. But when you have a 90-day focus, again, it's short enough where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's long enough to actually accomplish something substantial. And then from that 90-day plan, you'll come up with weekly targets. And then on a daily basis, you'll have daily targets. And when I say target, I'm not talking about to-do lists, 20 to 50 things of this is what I must do. I'm talking about targets, and targets are strategic things. So a weekly target, you would have 3 targets for the week that are going to get you closer to that vision. On a daily basis, you're going to have 3 targets that are going to get you closer to your 90-day vision and also your weekly target. So it all works together. And then finally, it's the habits, your daily habits. And I strongly recommend that everybody use a habit tracker at least for a month to 3 months so that you can start to see how much your habits, when you're trying to instill a new habit, how much you're doing it for one thing and what a difference it makes. So some examples of habits that you might put together. First of all, you want to put habits that are going to get you closer to your goal. So let's say one of your vision pieces is that you want to run a marathon. Okay, one of your habits would be running, right? You want to track how much you're running. If your goal is to write a book, one of your habits you would want to track would be writing. And then you want to track habits that are, kind of each related to each pillar that you have. So for example, I track my morning ritual, my evening ritual. I track mindful eating. I track core work. That's like planking. I track weight work. I track walking. I track, and it changes a little bit. Like when I really master something, I always track my morning and evening ritual, even though I rarely ever miss. Like I think in the last 5 weeks, I missed journaling in the morning, doing my morning ritual one time. But because it's so core to my success, I will always have my morning and evening ritual on my habit tracker. So what you do for a habit tracker is just when you do it, you put an X, and your goal is to see X's all the way across your month, in every column. And then it also helps you to go, oh, okay, one of my habit trackers was this. and I only did it 10 out of the 30 days of the month. And so then it can make you think about, okay, how can I set myself up for more success to really do those habits? So in order to live your vision, you've got to have the daily habits, daily targets, weekly targets, a 90-day plan, a 12-month plan that all fit under this 3-year vision, or however long you want to go out in terms of your vision. And sometimes I have people say, I don't do goals. And there is a huge body of research that people who have written down goals achieve so much more than people who don't write things down. It's just kind of like the one of if you have big goals, you achieve more than people who set super low goals. Just letting that sink in there a little bit for you. So I really hope that you're inspired to live your vision. And, I was inspired to do this podcast specifically because over the last couple months, I've had so many people tell me, people who are just meeting me, that they don't want to get to a point in their life where they feel like life just went by. That, yes, all of these people have been fairly successful people, but they don't want to feel like they don't want to have this feeling like there was something big they could have done and they didn't do it. And so when you take the time to work on vision, you really get strategic and you really get aligned with your values, with, the life that you crave to be doing. And then you get it down to the daily habit, to the morning ritual. And so every day when I wake up, I can say my morning ritual is part of my 3-year vision. And so I'm living my vision by doing my morning ritual. I'm living my vision by writing in my journal. I'm living my vision by tracking my habits. I'm living my vision by daily and weekly and 90-day planning. So, and then actually, of course, doing it. So part of writing it all down is checking it off when you do it, or noticing. I love the idea of measuring if you've won the day, and also measuring a plan to reality score. So whatever your plan was for the day, how close did you get to your plan? And then also, how do you feel about winning your day? So sometimes you can have a big shift, like a big opportunity happen, and you might have a 10 out of 10 win the day score and a 4 out of 10 plan to reality score because all your priorities changed in that day, and that's okay too. This is just about noticing and about awareness. So again, you can check out the Living Your Vision course, and you can type questions in the Q&A box or comments for me, or you can reach out to me on my website, SheriKHoff.com. Don't forget to grab the free gifts that we have on the website. And I just want to wish you a fantastic, joy-filled day of creativity and living your vision. I will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Say goodbye. Leave you with one last thought. Maybe 2 last thoughts, but I just want to tell you the tools we've talked about: habit tracker, a calendar, a journal, vision board, and mind map. So if you're wondering what kind of tools should you be using. And then the second reminder is I feel like I'm kind of the person who walked off stage and then came back and said, wait a minute, I have something else. But that's how the brain works, right? So you want to review your vision daily, weekly, quarterly. It doesn't have to be daily, but some people do read through their vision every day because it's so important for them to keep it front and forward so they're remembering their why. But at least quarterly. Weekly would be a little bit better, but at least quarterly. Let your vision inspire and motivate you, and when you're tired, you can reflect on your big why. So remember that you are a deliberate creator. And by living your vision, you're a deliberate creator, not a life is happening to mirror. Okay, those are my parting thoughts for you. Have a fantastic day, week, month, life, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
This episode is sponsored by the Living Your Vision course for creating your optimal life. This course is for creating and fulfilling your dream. Make your dreams your reality instead of a someday idea. Set your vision for your life in motion. Move from trying to be just a little bit better and shift to deliberately creating the life you want at the level you want. Most people are not purposely thinking small. They just have never considered or allowed themselves to think bigger or even on an epic level. Even big thinkers, perhaps you're one of them, often say, I just don't have time to devote to developing a detailed vision of how I want my life to be. What's stopping you from creating your vision the way you really want it? What if you let go of anything that is stopping or blocking you? What if you stepped into your creative zone and designed a compelling vision that drove all of your daily habits and decisions? You can check out the Living Your Vision course at sherikhoff.com. That's SHERIKAYEHOFF.com. And you'll want to go to the coaching and courses tab.